Hello. So I went to Paris for the MIK festival made in Korea. It was the first time I've ever been to Paris and the first time I've ever been to like a Korean festival. I'm gonna be sharing my experience with all of you of how it went and if I would do it again or not. So it did start pretty okay. I did fly from Las Vegas to Minneapolis and then Minneapolis to Paris, and the flight wasn't too bad. I slept, most of the time. I got there one day before the festival so I could try to stay up so then I could get my sleeping schedule, right away so I'd be okay for the festival. It was time for day one of the festival and I was just getting ready, excited, all of that, because I didn't know what to expect. Got into an Uber. I was only 10 minutes from where I was staying, so that was very nice. The arena outside was very, very nice. Outside it was pretty windy. It was starting to get windy. Of course it was cold, but I came prepared with the jacket and all. The plan was that VIP, which I had VIP, tickets, was that you would have to be there at 12 to get let in, and then the VIP would start at 1 o'clock. We got there at 11:30 and we were outside in the cold until 12:40. We didn't get let in. The line did not start moving, which I thought was ridiculous. Everybody was just already sick of what was going on outside. Finally. The line wasn't too bad to get in because it did move quickly after, but I'd say we got in, went through security, then we got our wristbands, our swag bags, which came with like a lanyard and a t-shirt and a couple other things, which was very nice. We walked in and it was pretty crowded, and what I expected was a meet and greet because it said meet and greet, which to me is like you get to meet them, whether it's a high touch or they just walk by you or they just say hi or they just say bye. But it was not that, and that was pretty disappointing because of because I expected to meet all of the artists with the VIP. And I'm not sure if this is how they do it in other countries, if this is how they label a festival, if this is how they label a meet and greet. But at least here in America, meet and greet is like you get to meet them, you take a picture, or it's a high touch, or they walk by, say hi, or you say bye to them when they leave. Ended up being a Q&A instead. So you would ask questions on Twitter and then they would ask them in person. So every artist on day one, which was K-pop day, came out. I did not understand anything because of course they would translate everything into French. So I was kind of lost the whole time, but it's all right, that's what I expected. I was still very disappointed that that is what they labeled a meet and greet, which was just a Q&A. They just stand up, announce themselves, walk a little bit, and then answer some questions. I'd say we went in late already, so the people who were outside waiting were supposed to come in at 2, but our meet and greet didn't start until like almost 2, so everybody was late coming in. The show started at 3. Day one started at 3 and it went all the way till around 10:30, 10:40. So we originally got there at 11:30 for our meet and greet. So we would be there all day from 11:30 till like 10:30. So we realized right before the concert started that, hey, let's go and get some food because, it's gonna be a long day. At 2 o'clock, as soon as like the meet and greet ended, we went to go get food. It had sold out. There was no food left. All they had were chips and popcorn and drinks. That's all they had left. They did have some hot dogs, but those sold out. Like, that was the only thing that they had left. Like on the menu, it showed like sandwiches, bagels, all this stuff. They had sold out. So it was already rough starting because we would have been there from 11:30 till 10:30 with no food. And like I said, I expected it to be a festival with like food and stuff. No, there was also no merch at all. They only had their MIK merch. I thought they'd have some artist merch. They did not. They only had some Epic High merch because they're already on tour. So I ended up buying some of their merch, which is really awesome. but it already started out not great. No food, no merch, and as you know, the concert kept going, the artists are great, you know, having a good time dancing. Of course, I was getting hungry and tired, and I was just starting to feel miserable. So it was not the best. At some point, I just had to sit down because I was just so over everything. And I love that they put so many artists in one day, but you'd get like a 5-minute break, so you could barely run to the bathroom and come back and not miss the next person, or they'd end early so the next person would start early. So you know, it was great so we could leave a little earlier, but like I said, I was just over it all with not being able to eat.
Say what?
The arena started to smell terrible. It was hard to be around the big crowd, especially when you're on the floor in GA. The concert went on, the artists were great, but I was just so over day one. I was just so exhausted. After I finished the concert, just took an Uber, went back to my hotel and ordered Uber Eats because I was just so hungry.
Doesn't matter what your baby hate or love. Like two sharks 말한 애들 분명 변하고 나같이 원바이 원 휩쓸려 내게 좀 더 깊이 내게 좀 더 깊이 내게 휩쓸리지. You know what I deserve? What? Deserve. You know what I deserve? Deserve.
You know, slept, woke up for day 2. At this point, I was so over it. I ate as much as I could at the hotel because I didn't want to risk it in case they didn't have any food at the arena again. I did not even get ready this day. I did not do any makeup. I did not do, you know, I didn't really wear any cute clothes. I was just so over it because I didn't know what to expect. So we got to the arena around 12:25 because I knew that we would not be let in yet. And I was right. There was still a long line, you know, not as bad as K-pop day because most people went for K-pop day and second day was hip hop day. So we got in, waited in a line for about 15 minutes, walked in, grabbed our wristbands and swag bags, you know, walked in, and it was definitely less crowded, day 2, but it was still really, you know, really good view, really good, you know, still filled up the seats. This is what it looked like, and there really were not a lot of people for day 2 in VIP at least. I didn't know how full it was gonna get till later, But this time all of the rappers and DJs came out at the same time. It wasn't one after the other. And they all said hello, and then they all walked by, and then they all answered some questions, and then they came down stage as well, which is pretty cool, and they took some, you know, pictures and autographs and all of that.
Hello.
Picture.
Then right away it started. It started earlier than day one, so at least, you know, it ended earlier as well. Yeah, it started, I'd say, 10 minutes after the meet and greet had ended, because we were also let in late again. So yeah, you know, it started, and the second day, you know, all the artists were really cool, really fun. I just feel like I didn't enjoy it as much because I was so tired from day one, and I sat most of the time. Unless I knew a couple songs or I wanted to record something, I sat down most of the time. And this time I made sure to go get food before it started so I could save it in my bag. So they actually did have some more food day two. They had a couple sandwiches this time and some bagels. But I'm not sure if they sold out for day two. But day one I was already awful enough. And I'm not sure if that's just the arena's fault or the company that's hosting the festival. But yes. But yeah, the concert, you know, went on. They were definitely a lot more involved in the crowd and with the fans. So that was pretty cool. We ended it with J Park and CL, and it was a good time. I'm not sure if I would go back again unless the lineup was great, and now that I know what VIP is, I'm not sure if I would get it for both days. I might just get it for one day. And now I know what to expect, and I know it was their first time hosting it. I'm happy I did it. Also not happy. There's some, you know, pros and cons. But the ticket was around $760 US dollars for both days. That was VIP. So I might consider going back, but I wouldn't do VIP again. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, I went to Paris for a festival that wasn't a festival, it was a concert, which was still fun.